Carrie, and then we can get started. I've hit the record button.
Okay, well, first I would like to say good afternoon to everyone. I know that we are all anticipating this 3-day weekend coming up, so hopefully we'll be brief in this meeting so that we can all start to enjoy. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Carrie Wallace. I am the secretary for our USC board here at HCC. I am going to be filling in for our awesome president, Ms. Christine Mompoint, just to open up the meeting, but she shall be joining us shortly. So I would officially like to call this meeting to order at 5:09 p.m. Very briefly, if everyone could, I am going to drop a link in the chat for the roll call. If everyone can go ahead, take about 2 minutes to fill out that link so that I can record attendance and make sure that everyone that's supposed to be here is here. Okay, and that link should be in the chat for everybody who needs it. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the link, please feel free to drop anything in the chat. And Ms. Ashley, if anything pops up, please do not hesitate to stop me and notify me. After you get done filling out the link, we will go ahead and move on to our SGA reports. I will yield the floor to Mr. Bill Davis, who will conduct that report. We ask that in your SGA reports, we keep them brief, 2 minutes per campus. And as you see your campus name pop up, you can just yield the floor to the next campus to announce their report. Please, as a gentle reminder, know that these are reports and not announcements. Anything that is upcoming and has not already passed should be reserved for the announcement section in our meeting. And with that, I shall yield the floor.
Can y'all hear me all right?
You're just a little faint.
Okay. What about now?
Sounds great.
Alrighty. At this time, I will turn the floor over to yield the floor for SGA reports. We will start with Central, and then Central will yield to Coleman. Coleman will yield to Northeast. Northeast will yield to Northwest. Northwest will yield to Southeast, and Southeast will yield to Southwest. So at this time, I will yield the floor to the representative from Central.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Naeem Abdul. I am the Central SGA president, and I'm also the USC treasurer. My report from the Central campus today is very simple. Last month, what we did on the Central campus is we did Community Service Month. We encouraged each of our students to go and get engaged in any local type of community venture, whether it was Houston Food Bank or Shape Community Center, anything that has to do with volunteering your services. We knew that we came right out of the short disaster we had coming in February, I believe it was, and there were a lot of people that still needed water. There were a lot of people that still needed food, and so that was something that we really wanted to push as an initiative. We as the SGA had one community service event ourselves that our officers attended, and that was a community service volunteer car wash with a nonprofit organization called Bayou City Athletics here in the Third Ward community. But other than that, we've had our officer meetings, and we had our last month's General Assembly meeting on March 3rd, which should be on presence. And other than that, that concludes the Central SGA's report. I now yield my time to Coleman College.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Nieves Garcia. I'm the secretary for Coleman SGA. Our report for this past month is pretty brief. We had a lot of events for the OTA program, those students who were completing their fieldwork with Student Life and our counselor, Brandy. So they had a lot of events focused on decompression techniques and mindfulness and self-care for the pandemic. And they also, again, teamed up with Brandy to support students with counseling if needed. That is really all we have for this report. I yield the floor to Northeast.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Machuca, and I am the parliamentarian for the Northeast College. On March 25th, we had our town hall meeting with Dr. Unfree, and she discussed the state of Northeast and what new resources that were coming to the Northeast College, and also students got to talk about any concerns they had and suggested any changes that might help them in their learning environment. And that's pretty much it for the Northeast College.
Jackie, if you could yield the floor to Northwest.
I now yield the floor to the Northwest campus.
Northwest Campus SGA, Grace and Dupa. I'm the president for the Northwest SGA, and our report goes as so. As of March 5th, we had the Taxes 101 event where students had the opportunity to learn about how to file their taxes. And then afterwards, on March 10th, we have at 3 p.m. the mental health check-in, where we had a speaker come in and train us on how to deal with emotional stress during our getting close to finals and everything going on during the pandemic. And we also had our college reverse town hall on March 22nd that took place around 1 p.m., which was hosted with the help of our officer, of my vice president Jesus, and we have President Hawkins that was present, and Freemer, and many other faculty. It was a very intriguing process. And we have an upcoming event that is the cultural awareness. The goal behind it is to connect with other students and share our experiences. If you check in the chat, I put a Kudo board and a link to the Kudo board. Once you click on it, you're gonna see that I shared a little bit about my background and about my culture, and Julie did the same thing. And you're more than welcome to share a little bit about yourself, because we are going to be putting it out for a lot of students to see on April 20th, which is going to be the day of the event. And there are going to be prizes and everything, so everyone is welcome to participate. And this concludes my report. Thank you. I yield the floor now to the Southeast campus.
At this time, I'm going to do the report for Southeast Campus. This is Bill Davis, SGA President and USC parliamentarian. The report that I have from Southeast is we hosted our origami event where we invited the students out to come participate and learn how to do origami. Then we also had our Black History Trivia Night. We were originally supposed to have that in February, but it got pushed back to last month. Then we also had our town hall meeting last month, and then we just had a recent one today. That concludes the report from Southeast Campus. At this time, I will yield the floor to Southwest.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Tiffany Gordon. I am the secretary for Southwest. We are currently working on a PowerPoint at the ending of April to just showcase how magical women are. And we will have more about that coming up at our General Assembly meeting, which should be April. If I can get that time for you guys, it should be April 14th. So that would conclude our report at this time. I yield the floor back to the president.
Thank you so much for all of your reports. I'm so sorry I caught the tail end of that. And thank you so much to our other officers who started the meeting in my absence. For those of you who may be unfamiliar, my name is Christine Monpoint and I represent the United Student Council as the president. Thank you all so much for being here. And thank you, Carrie, again for getting this all started. Really appreciative of all the hard work of the SGAs as you all are coming to a close. As we're about to go into elections, and we will be discussing that later on, and Ms. Ashley will give us some information about what that process looks like for next year. I just want to take the time to go ahead and get us into our committee reports. The first committee report that we will have will be the district-wide initiatives report. And if I could just give me just 1 second to get myself situated, and I'll actually turn it over to the governmental and external affairs and the grievances and investigations, and then we'll come back to district-wide initiatives in just a second. So if I could yield the floor to Naeem Abdullah to speak on the governmental and external affairs, and then we'll put the district-wide initiatives at the end of this committee report section. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Naeem Abdullah, Central SGA president and also the United Student Council treasurer. In our Governmental and External Affairs Committee, we had a grand time last month that we wanted our students to know about. Just to give some information, we are in a Texas legislative session, which is very important that students need to know about because that comes around once every 2 years. So in this particular legislative session, being that we are somewhat of a post-pandemic or in a pandemic, we wanted to make sure that our students had the best opportunity coming out of the pandemic to move forward. Some of the initiatives that we had put forward was speaking to our local legislators to pass through bills that would help our institution grow and help our students have a more desirable time in their stay here at Houston Community College. One of the main initiatives that we talked about was student housing and also medical insurance. Getting medical insurance for our students from an institutional-wide perspective, and also all the displacement and things that happen within our students, especially after this pandemic. We wanted to make sure that we have some type of template or platform in place to gain student housing or to develop student housing on our prospective campuses. So those are two of the things of our main initiatives that we had. And Christine Monpoint, our wonderful president, and myself really went to war and went to bat at making sure that we presented a platform for Houston Community College moving forward. And we felt we did that, and we opened up some doorways, and we just want to build on that. So that is the wrap up with the External and Governmental Affairs Committee. I now yield the floor to Grievances and Investigations Committee. Or I yield the floor. Okay, amen.
Thank you for that, Naeem. My name is Bill Davis. I am the parliamentarian for USC and also in charge of the Grievance and Investigations Committee. The report that I have for you is not that long, I promise. We did, hold on 1 second. Okay, we worked on developing documentation system for concerns, complaints, and comments. I will be sending that out to the board members today for final approval. that is to keep track of any concerns, comments, or complaints that we receive on our end, and we would like to start keeping track of those. Then the next thing that we also worked on as the Grievance and Investigations Committee, we worked on emailing Mr. Williams and Ms. Prestich concerning a USC meeting regarding IT, the IT department plans. So at our next meeting, I will give an update about that. And today we will be reaching out to Dr. Graves concerning our communication situations that we have going on. And that concludes our report from the Grievance and Investigations Committee. I turn it back over to Madam President for district-wide initiatives.
Madam President?
About some of the technology concerns, and that is something we are working on with Dr. Gray's office, and that is under the jurisdiction of the Grievance.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you speaking before? Because we maybe have caught the tail end of it when you were talking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Sorry, I was saying that, thank you so much, that the Grievances and Investigations Committee and the Executive Board is working on a mailer of the technology rentals that are available from the library and some of the other platforms that HGC students can access for free with their student ID. We are working on the target audience of that right now. It is between the Northeast students, like that is definitely one of the goals, but then also students that have not re-enrolled in the last calendar year, not academic year, but spring and fall of last year in that region, also touching some of the central and southeast regions that may not have enrolled because of lack of technology. So we wanted to just highlight that, and that we are aware that students are still having technology needs, and we are working with the administration to make them aware of things that they can access to help with their education. So thank you again for your reports, gentlemen, and to all the students who have been involved in those initiatives from last semester. I know we haven't done our greatest to include all of you in that process, but we are forever grateful of the work that you put in last semester, as many of you were involved in those committees. And if at any time that you would like a report on what's been done or what the conversation looks like, you're more than welcome to email us as we try to wrap up and get some student feedback for what next year will look like for students. Under district-wide initiatives, excuse me, I know that we've had several students involved in this as well. Some of you who are on the board now, and then some of those who may be in the conversation within the chat or just listening in. But we are working on creating some type of guide that we can present to the next executive board on the syllabus initiative, the website initiative, just because it was such a large project. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Chancellor Maldonado was thinking to go to the Board of Trustees for a some billion-dollar amount to redo the HCC website in its entirety to make it more student-friendly, not for just prospective students like it is structured right now, but current students as well. And so instead of tying the United Student Council to that project with some type of commitment from this board, we're creating a guide for the next board to find a way for them to be involved in the project based off of what their availability and what the commitment of students looks like at that time. Additionally, there was a great meeting with the Associate Vice Chancellor of Instructional Services, Dr. Drain, and Mr. Dilla, who is the Faculty Senate President, to discuss that they are going to be making the syllabus accessible to students through a online platform so that you can have an updated syllabus with updated textbook information, and it should be available from the website and Canvas at a reasonable time so that you can make an informed decision about your textbook purchases and also about the courses that you would like to take. So there are notes on that that can be provided. That'll be on our USC page for presence as well. so that you can have all the correct details regarding that initiative. I don't want to misquote anything, but I know that that has been in the works. And the Faculty Senate did update us on that last week. And so just wanted to make you aware that even though the communication has not gone out, we are still keeping up with the initiatives that we started last semester, and we still welcome your feedback and your participation if you are available. And that concludes our committee reports. I'm now going to yield the floor to our incredible USC advisor, Ms. Ashley Rhodes, who also advises the Northeast campus. Just a quick shout out, she really has been involved in every one of our meetings and meetings with administration, coming in the last minute when officers have had family concerns and other things. So just wanted to say thank you, Ms. Ashley, for all that you've done to help us as an organization, and turn the floor over to you.
Thank you so much. It is really my pleasure. I've learned a lot. Again, I am not in politics or any type of governmental affairs, but I have learned so much, like in this past year, working with USC, just in regards to legislation and bills and things of that nature. So I really do appreciate it. And I thank you guys for definitely being there for the students. So what I would like to provide to you all today, for those of you who are graduating, congratulations. I know that you guys won't be returning with us next year to run for office, but we definitely appreciate your service in USC, and we appreciate your service with your respective SGA. So it is starting that election season with student governments in USC, and we are excited that we have launched the leadership platform on Eagle Experience already. Do you mind if I share my screen, Miss Carrie?
Not at all. Please go right ahead.
All righty, I am going to share so I can show everybody. Let's hopefully I don't have technical difficulties. So share. Okay, here we go. Give me a second, y'all. My computer's working like it's a Monday, but it's a whole Thursday. Okay, there we go. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Now
So we've launched the leadership opportunities for the student body to be able to apply for USC as well as SGA. The campaign period goes between April 1st today and goes all the way to April 16th. That is when students are able to submit their applications for USC as well as SGA. They will go to opportunities and go to experiences. This actual link has been sent out to them to get directly to the leadership experience through their email. You all should have received it. If you have not, check your spam folder, but it did go out to all of our student body. So if you see here, we have our Eagle leaders. This is where everyone will go. And my computer's slow, so please forgive me. And it's thinking. Okay. Hold on, y'all. All right, there we are. So here it does give a description of you're looking to be a leader here on campus. Just gives you a little tidbit of information about what to expect as a leader here at HCC within the USC and SGA realms. So let's go ahead and click on student government. You click on student government. I'm just giving y'all a little demo. Hopefully it'll go quick enough for you. And so here, it'll give you some information about what SGA is and elections for student government. There are a few procedures. And here you can actually read through the election information. If you go ahead and click on that election information, it's going to pop open for you. And you'll be able to see a pictogram of information here about what SGA is and what offices it holds, what's in it for you, what you are expected to and what you can improve upon your student experience. And then it gives the qualifications here and the eligibility. for running for office for SGA. And it does go into detail about the available positions and what are some of the responsibilities of those duties of those officers. If I click back, it'll take me back to the original page of information for Student Government Association. And we're hoping that you guys, if you are not graduating, that we encourage you to apply and still be involved with the voice of the students. All respective SGA positions are open at the college that you actually attend and are registered at. Also, within this application here, there are also videos about what to expect. What is SGA? What is USC? And then you can also click the application. My computer's running slow, so it won't let me click right now. But you click the application and it will be sent to, the submission will be sent electronically. I hope that you all, if you're not graduating, still apply and be involved here with us with USC and SGA. Are there any questions before I go on and tell you what the actual timeline is for voting and campaigning? Any questions? Okay, all right, if not. So the application submission period, again, as I stated, is between April 1st and April 16th. April 19th, the week of April 19th, will start the campaign period. As the submissions come in, we will be asking those candidates, we'll be sending that information to our enrollment office so that way we can verify that everybody meets the 6-hour semester credit hour requirements, as well as a 2.57 GPA. As we get those back, we will notify them that they have qualified for candidacy, and then they will actually send us a video of their platform, what they feel SGA, what they will do for your SGA or your USC. And so there will be videos that each student will be able to click on and actually hear and see from the student who is running for that position. So you'll know what their candidacy platform is. Voting will take place the week of April 26th through April 30th. So it is a full week of voting. So that way we can definitely push out those links to get everybody on to vote, which will be through Eagle Experience. Everybody will have access, so that way will be fair. Of course, you only have one submission for your college, for your SGA, one submission for the United Student Council. And then we will tally up those votes, and then we will notify those by May the 2nd. And then after that, we will announce to the entire student body, as well as our college, who won those positions for the respective SGAs and the United Student Council. Are there any questions? All this information is also outlined on the Eagles Leaders page, where you'll find information about SGA and USC. Are there any questions?
Miss Ashley?
Yes.
This may be like an internal question, so I apologize, but will the new officers be inducted at our May General Assembly meeting, or will we have one? Or
remember, that is up to you all. I know we did not have one last year, and we didn't have one in December. So that is up to you all if we are going to have a May. If that is the case, we definitely can.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
No problem. Any other questions? I don't know if you all have put them in the chat. I hadn't opened up my chat. But if you all have any questions, and then if you also have questions, and let's say you don't want to ask them here, feel free to reach out to your student government advisor, your SLC, or you can reach out to me. I do not mind. Remember, the submission period just opened up today. So if you know students who are wanting to join and be a part and be the voice of the student, please feel free to let them know where to go, because we look forward to seeing some old faces, some new faces, and mixing and mingling. I yield the floor back to Madam President.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley, for walking us through that. And again, students, if you are thinking about applying, if you're not really sure, you have several people on the call who are all SGA officers, and we would be more than willing to provide feedback. I've been an SGA officer for 3 years, actually, so if you're interested, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. But thank you again, Ms. Ashley, for walking us through that. Carrie, if you could please bring up the agenda when you have a chance. Thank you very much. So now we're going to open floor discussion. Seeing that this may be our last United Student Council meeting, I wanted to take the time to ask students about just their general thoughts of the calendar year, really talking about student communication. Where do you see room for improvement? Like, what are your concerns for fall enrollment? And if you just had anything that you wanted to share or bring up to us as the officers to bring to the administration. One last time, we had a meeting with Dr. Maldonado, who is our chancellor over all of the HCC system, and Dr. Grace, who is the vice chancellor of student services, who have been excellent advocates for student and student interest all year long. Dr. Maldonado made it very clear to us that we as students have the right to voice our opinions. And I quote, and my other officers could back me up, he said, there are people at the college who would just really wish that they had the opportunity to meet with him the way that we do, that we need to keep them accountable, that we need to bring up our concerns, and that we shouldn't feel bad about having to ask for anything. So I just want to provide students the opportunity to either unmute themselves and state their name and who they represent, if they're representing an SGA, and just kind of share anything that they would like about what they would like to see improved at HCC from the topics listed under the open floor, or just in a general sense. Also, officers, if you have your own 2 cents that you would like to add just to generate some conversation, and hopefully students can piggyback off of that, that would be great as well.
Madam President,
Delegate recognized.
Jesus Canales, Northwest Vice President. I was just gonna say, would it be possible for us to let the staff know if we could keep the virtual lobby? I feel like that is very useful for students, especially like for myself right now that I'm transferring to another school. I notice a lot of universities don't even have a virtual lobby, so I definitely give us props for that, for being a community college and actually offering that, because it's very useful. And I think for new students enrolling and coming in, some of them might not have transportation, and the virtual lobby is a really good system. I yield the floor back.
I think that's excellent feedback. Thank you very much, Jesus, for sharing that, and always at least, saying something in our meetings and being an active participant. So thank you so much.
Madam President.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to comment on what Jesus was saying, I do believe, Jesus, that is something that they are keeping. I know in a lot of the meetings that I've been with some of our executive administrators, and at least my college president, the actual lobby is something they definitely want to keep on, even when we go back face to face, because we see that we can reach the masses now with this new technology that we've gained. So I definitely think, Jesus, that's something that they are definitely going to keep.
That's great. I'm glad, it makes it very unique to keep that. And I think a lot of students are finding that very useful. I just have one more announcement for the TJAC, the Texas.
1 second, Jesus, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna reserve that for the announcements.
Oh, okay, my bad, sorry.
No, it's okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Is there anyone else that would like to share any feedback, concerns, constructive criticism? Again, the college is looking for ways to improve communication, and you are more than welcome to share anything that is on your heart that HCC can be doing better to support your academic journey.
Madam President.
Officer recognized.
Naeem Abdullah, USC Treasurer. Yeah, and I kind of wanted to piggyback off of what our president said with our discussions with our chancellor, and also want to piggyback off of, for those who are out there that want to be future representatives in these councils or in your SGA. I just want to encourage everybody that it is a grand experience, and you're going to, just like our advisor said, even she learned things through this process that she would have had never experienced if it wasn't for this particular platform. But I just want students to be encouraged, because your voice matters. Your voice matters. And when I say that, I mean, with everything happening in the world, You guys are the future. So if you take these, take these opportunities and don't be scared to let your light shine in the realms of leadership. Go through and make a difference for other students, whether it's sitting on grade appeal committees, or whether it's being on committees such as these, like external governmental external affairs. And I also encourage the officers on this call to make yourself available as we go forward in our journey past community college. Make ourselves available to come back to speak to them, because an organization without guidance, and I'm not just talking about advisors, because advisors can only do so much, but the student experience is where it's at. So as students, I feel like where the lapse sometimes happens is when students leave and then they don't go back and lift the other ones up that are there, to where they don't have to start the process over again. So as officers on this line, let us leave a lasting impression, and keep an open doorway, keep an open channel for those students to be able to reach out to us, and for us to come back and give it to them real, not sugarcoat anything, because we know we have issues. We have there's not going to be any organization that isn't going to be 100% bulletproof. So the fact of the matter is, it's all about learning and growing. And that's what we've seen at this institution. That's what our chancellor, the sentiment of our chancellor, and it's the sentiment of everybody that trickles down. And so that's just my advice. And just make sure you guys, make a lasting print post pandemic. And we're here for you. I yield my time back to Madam President.
Thank you, Naeem, and thank you for your work on the Central Campus. And thank you to all the officers who have consistently been putting up events and things to make the student experience online comparable to that in person. And again, Naeem is absolutely right. Leadership is a learning process, so don't feel like you have to be the perfect person to lead, or you have to know all these things. There's plenty of summer trainings, there's plenty of people that you can reach out to within the SLCs, but also within the college that are willing to mentor and coach you through it. And definitely the officers on this call, there's several officers I know who will be available after this year for communication as well. One thing I would like to pose to the group before we move on to announcements is that if I wanted to just kind of ask students about their overall thoughts on a full service campus. So Mr. Trust, who is under the facilities department, he called me earlier this week and asked if students would be interested in having a full service student services at every single campus, or do they prefer going to one single location within their college to get their information? So for example, within the Northwest College, we have Ailey Hayes, Katie, Spring Branch, and Ailey Hayes, Katie, and Ailey Bissonette. And Spring Branch and Ailey Hayes are full service, and I believe Katie has mostly everything that you need, but sometimes you may have to go to different campuses to get everything that you need. And so his question would, what type of full service items do you guys think we need at every campus? Would you like a financial aid person at every campus? Or would you like to see someone from admissions or the bursar's office at every campus? And so that was kind of a question that he had asked, and that the United Student Council could bring that information back to them so they could plan how to improve the campuses for the fall. If anyone wants to comment on the chat or unmute yourself, please feel free to do so.
Madam President.
Delegate recognized.
Jody Rodriguez, Treasurer for the Southeast Campus. So I just want to make sure I fully understand your question. So it was having the services placed on one campus or all the campuses? Are you saying like either or?
Yeah, so right now, I think, for example, like at the Southeast, like the Felix
Fraga.
Felix Fraga is the one that's closer to Central, right?
I believe the Southeast, the Felix campus is closer to Central. Fraga is like, well, actually, no, I think the Fraga campus is closer. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Okay, so at Felix Fraga, they only have one front desk person there that can only do certain things. She can't do all of the things that students need. So if they wanted to get a full service, like for financial aid and everything, they have to travel to Felix Morales or a completely different college. So the question that Mr. Trust had was, you know, are we lacking certain student support services at all the campuses, or do we think it's fine the way it is now?
I think making it available to all the campuses would be a better idea, because even though there are students within the Southeast campus, I know some people who walk over to just the campus that I am. So trying to make it to Southeast, they would have to Uber across, and I'm sure that's like wasting valuable money that they could be using for something else. And thank you all again for all the hard work that you all do.
Thank you, Jody, for sharing your feedback. I really appreciate that. Ajima, thank you again for your comments. Jesus, thank you. I mean, of course, that is the assumption that the United Student Council has made as well, that we would want to see so something that's a little bit more convenient to students, but just wanted to go back and hear student feedback is always highly appreciated. Since we have a few more minutes, and we usually adjourn at 6. Just wanted to extend the conversation a little bit longer. Is there anyone who has specific concerns for fall enrollment? Do you prefer to keep the modalities that we have now? Would you like to see more in-person classes? Would you like to see more online classes? I know that was a large discussion we had last semester, and I can expect the college to circle back and ask us a similar question before the year is over.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, I want just everybody to take into consideration, because some of the meetings that they're having in regards to the opening, I know they're having these meetings weekly. Of course, they have to watch the climate of what COVID is doing. Because one instance in 1 week we could say, oh man, the numbers are down, let's open everything up. And then, you know, the next week we come back and it was like, the numbers are skyrocketing, close it down. So a lot of times our administrators are definitely thinking about, you know, how are we going to make this experience easier for students and have better access, but also just take into account they do have to watch what the climate of COVID is doing, because of course their number one priority is definitely keeping everyone safe while they're going through their educational journey. So I just want to make sure that we're not too hard on some of the administrators, because they have to make some really, really hard calls in regards to making sure that they're keeping students safe, they're keeping staff safe, and that they're keeping faculty safe. So when we go into there, if we can not just be so hard on them, because they have a lot that they have to think about when they're making these decisions. But hopefully with the vaccine being readily available, that, you know, we're going to be able to move back a little bit more face to face come August. I hope so, because, you know, I'm student life. That's what we do. I'll yield the floor back to you, Ms. Christine.
Thank you, Ms. Ashley. And one thing that I would like to highlight is one of the things that the college is doing now is they have, like, for example, they were kind of prioritizing the math and science courses to in-person, because those are the more challenging courses for students. But a lot of students were complaining about the distribution of the classes. They're saying, well, there's not enough science classes in the Northeast campuses. There's not enough, you know, math classes at Southeast. So thank you for bringing up your points, Ms. Ashton. I just wanted to allow you all to provide some feedback about maybe the courses that you're trying to take, or you know, where do you think that these courses could be held? Maybe there could be a few more sections of, you know, biology, you know, at a particular campus that you're at. Thank you, Ms. Ashley.
Madam President?
Delegate recognized.
Although this wouldn't affect me going forward, I just wanted to know, is it going to be a mandate for people to have to take the vaccine shot?
That's an excellent question. And of course, we're not equipped to answer that right now, but I do think that if anybody has any comments about whether or not they would prefer or not prefer there to be a mandate, that would be great information to provide to our administration so that they can make a decision.
Madam President,
Delegate recognized.
may I go back to that question that was asked by the delegate?
Yes, also, delegate, the person who asked the question, if you could state your name and your campus for the record, that would be great. Thank you.
I'm Tiffany from Southwest.
We just at our town hall today, I just want to piggyback on this because as Miss Ashley said, things do change. Right now, HCC is going to look at the COVID vaccine as a flu shot vaccine. So it won't be mandated.
Thank you, Bill, for your response. And again, if anyone has any feedback about whether they would feel more comfortable or they just feel like that is not something that they would be interested in, again, those type of responses would be helpful to provide to the college as they make their decision. Well, I just wanted to thank each person on the call today for your participation in all of our events and activities and really shaping the voice of the United Student Council and students going forward. We've had a large number of meetings with vice chancellors. We've been invited to several roundtable discussions, things that students have generally never been invited to before. We got to sit on an emergency disaster team after the winter storm. We get to sit in the T100 meetings with all the administrators making this large decisions for their college. We've met with the financial leadership. We met with student leadership, academic leadership, and that's all thanks to your support and your feedback at our meetings over email and your SGAs. Y'all have done incredible work. I don't know if you guys know this, but at other community colleges, they haven't had a student government association all year just because they couldn't keep students or it was too difficult to meet online. Or there was a lot of challenges, and the fact that HCC is at least 40 officers strong is amazing, really. And just give yourselves a pat on the back if you've been here for 2 months or you've been here for the entire time. You should be very proud of the work that you've done and all that you put in to make someone's student experience a little bit better. I know sometimes you may be discouraged by low turnout at our meetings or just not having the outcome for an event that we wanted, but just having one student come and say, hey, thank you for doing this, or hey, I'm glad we had this, is what you really should be proud of. And you should give yourself a pat on the back for putting in your own time and effort to make someone else's student experience memorable. I just wanted to turn it over to the SGAs for the last set of announcements. Again, officers in the SGAs, excellent job this year. Thank you for attending. Thank you for supporting and coming to all of our events. And I'm going to yield the floor to the SGA officers in the same order that's listed, starting with Central.
All right. I feel like this is like a farewell or something like that. I feel like somebody died or something. And not saying
for the
okay.
announcements, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not saying that in a derogatory manner. But other than that, I think if I'm mistaken, I guess these are our just final announcements. Well, from the Central Campus, we just want to thank thank everybody for allowing us to be a part of this process. We feel like Central Camp might be a little biased here, but we feel like Central Campus, we feel like what affects our campus affects every other campus. We feel like we're like ground zero. And so we definitely want to push the urge to continue the leadership structure and continue making sure our communication channels are better suited for our students with our administration, and also just that we're just setting the platform to be the platform for the rest of the SGAs to look at, to say, hey, look at what they're doing. But once again, I'm a little biased. It's coming from the Central Campus, but I love the camaraderie, and I just think that in the future we should find a way that we can all culminate each other's SGAs to where they work a little bit more together. Besides just the United Student Council, I'd like to see that, because I think that's going to make us stronger as a unit. Yes, I am biased. Hallelujah. but much love to the United Student Council. If you guys need us, if you need the Central Campus, ce.sga@hccs.edu, I think it is. And feel free to reach out with me. I got an open door policy, and feel free to reach out to me, myself, and I will be available. All right, thank you, and everybody have a great evening. I yield the floor back to Madam President.
Let's go from campus to campus instead of yielding back to me. I'll yield it to Coleman, and Coleman, keep it going on the list. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, thanks for attending the meeting today. I just want to say great job, everyone. It's been a very long year, but we did it. And now for the Coleman events, we're gonna have our last General Assembly meeting on Monday the 5th at 7 p.m. So you're welcome to join. We will be having a lot of events for the OTA students who are completing their last rotation so they can graduate. And they're going to have a lot of cool events. So just go to Presence and look up Coleman and all of them should come up. They're going to be really interesting. And we're going to have a wire writing event, which is really, really cool on April 13th. So feel free to sign up. We hope to see you there. And that's all I have for tonight. I yield the floor to Northeast.
Hi, everyone. Jacqueline Machuca, the parliamentarian for the Northeast College. For the Northeast College, we'll be having our SGA General Assembly on April 15th, and we'll be having a bingo going on that day as well at 6 p.m. So if you want to join us. And that's it for the Northeast College. And now you the floor to Northwest College.
Madam President, Grace Induko, Northwest College. For our announcement, we have the cultural awareness event that's coming up on the same day as our General Assembly. Since it's going to be the last General Assembly we have, we decided to add it to it to make it a fun activity. We're going to have a lot of games and prize winning. So you're all invited to participate. Like I put in the chart, you can click on the link that's in the chat. I'm gonna send it again. And we have a kudo board where we're putting a little bit about culture. Like you can put something about your culture that you like, and students are gonna see it and connect with it. Since April is seen as the month of international relations, we decided to do that. And I think it's been a long year, and I appreciate everyone who has been working, putting out effort. It's not easy to move an entire whole school to an online platform. So I definitely recognize the effort of our president, the efforts of our faculties and staff. I thank you all very much. And I hope that the new officers that are gonna take over, the best to make SGA what it has always been, the voice of the students. Thank you. That concludes my report. I would yield the floor to Southeast Campus now.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. This is Jody Rodriguez, treasurer for the Southeast Campus. So actually for the month of April, we will be doing a workshop with Ms. Cristina Morales. She as well as her assistant will, and the third week of April, we will do a workshop to discuss the COVID vaccine and its importance, and to bring awareness to this vaccine so that we can encourage more people to get it as soon as possible, whether it's if they can at their CVS. I know more spots are opening up for people to receive vaccines. So just to keep people updated on that and talk about its effectiveness of receiving COVID. So just for the safety of everyone, please let us know if you guys would like to join. I'll go ahead and put our student government email in the group chat. Thank you. I yield the floor to Southwest.
Hi guys, it's Tiffany, you're the secretary from Southwest. As I stated earlier, we are going to have a woman's presentation where we're going to be talking about women from across the globe. That's going to probably be towards like the ending of April. So like the 22nd or 29th, we're trying to lean towards the 22nd. We're trying to work on our times. And our general assembly meeting will be April 14th at 12 p.m. where we're going to discuss about it more. So if you guys would like to join in on that, you guys can email me or get with me on the chat. But away from that, that would conclude our announcements. And I yield the floor back to the.
Thank you so much. And again, SGAs, thank you so much for all your hard work and your announcements. If you're not an SGA officer or member, you can find all of these things on Presence. Not necessarily an announcement, but I did want to say thank you to every single member who has put their faith in me as the USC president, and just allowed me to be the voice for you all in a lot of meetings that some of you may not even know about, but just making sure that students' voices were first. You guys participate in a lot of surveys, and I probably send like 20 emails a month, and I appreciate you all and putting your trust in me and putting your trust in the United Student Council. We are not done. We still have a month and a half to really put some final touches on some legacy planning for the United Student Council and making sure that the students who come in after us are well equipped to pick up where we left off. And if you have recommendations on how that can be done, or you're interested in being a part of that process, you are more than welcome to join us. So thank you again for all of your commitment to this organization and to students on our campus. If anyone else has any announcements, I'll give it a few minutes, but if not, I would like to move to an adjournment.
Jesus Canales from Northwest Campus.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so just for my final announcement, it's just a friendly reminder that starting next week, we have our TJC state convention from the April 8th to 9th and 10th, and I'll send the information in the group chat. And just a friendly reminder, if everyone could please attend it. And I yield the floor back.
Yes, if you're also interested in the Texas Junior College Student Government Association, that is a regional student government association that I also happen to be a part of at some point. Jesus is an excellent person to talk to. Jody Rodriguez from Southeast is a great person to talk to. Tiffany from Southwest. Carrie had some experience a little bit in it as well. So if you guys have questions about that, you can definitely touch base with one of those students or a student life coordinator. And at this time, I would like to move to adjourn the I am entertaining a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:05 p.m. And if the United Student Council officers could just stay on the line for a few minutes after the call. Thank you all so much.
Madam President.
The officer recognized.
Motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:06 p.m.
Thank you. The motion has been properly made. Is there a second?
I second the motion to adjourn.
Was that Bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Bill Davis.
Motion has been properly made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that no discussion, I will acknowledge that as unanimous consent that we are adjourned at 6:06. Thank you again, all of you, for attending our meeting today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Miss Ashley, you need to teach me how you tie your scarves. I need to know.
It's so easy. Like, it's the best thing because my hair is natural under here, but I've been trying to work out. So I was like, let me just keep it in Bantu knots until like maybe Easter. And so I was like, I'll just wear scarves all week.
And you showed it to me that one time we went to Disney World, but you did it so fast. I was like, dang, how did you do
I did.
Oh, it was just because I get like that too, because it's so second nature because you do it so often. You were just like, yeah, flip, flip, flip. And then you were done. And I was like, man.
I'm done. Yeah, it takes me no time. I'm just putting everybody in a waiting room right now if they're not an officer. So, okay, you for some reason you're showing up with Bill's name under your thing.
That is so weird.
And Bill, you also, okay, so I have 3 Bills in here.
That's Naeem too.
So I noticed
it's because we clicked the link. It's because we clicked the link that Bill sent his prison.
Oh, okay, there you go. I was like, do you remember when I asked you, Bill? I was like, are you on multiple devices? Because I'm seeing you in here more than once, and I saw you in there 3 times. I was like, what's going on?
Because when Carrie responded to me as Bill, I was like, Carrie, it's me. Like, I didn't even
That is
say
so
like,
funny because my next question was gonna be, so which Bill was I speaking to in the chat? Because I was so unaware. But okay, great. Glad that was you, Christine.
She was like, yeah, Bill, thank you for reaching out. And I was like, Bill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's why he asked. We were in, and I was like, Bill, you in here more than once? I'm like, mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's funny.
Miss Christine, before you get started, so since everybody was not in before, and I talked to Miss Carrie and Bill, so we did talk to Dr. Graves in regards to the Austin trip with the board of trustees today. And I needed the availability. If you all can send me your availability of like what days or times that you all are available, because we will have a meeting on Monday to discuss. So they're fast tracking everything to get it approved. So I need to know what your availabilities looks like. I know everybody is virtual right now with classes and things of that nature, but I don't know if you all have jobs and work. So I need to know what your availability is, probably from next Wednesday all the way out to the end of April. I know that's a lot to ask, but I just need to know so I can kind of report back, this is the times they have available. This is what they can do today. If you could send that to me.
Okay.
Mr. Bill sent me his already, but if, and I know that we would need to give you all enough notice, but just let me know what your availability is, okay? If you guys can send that to me by the end of Sunday so I can have it for Monday.
Okay, no problem. I only made people stay after because Bill had asked me to do that for this particular reason. So that's all I had to say, was that you would want to talk to us about the Austin trip.
Oh, okay. It was that. Oh, okay. Okay. Good job, Bill. Good job. As my baby says, good job. Now let me think. Something else. Your respective SGAs. I talked to Bill and Carrie. Christine, you were following Miss Dominique put you up under hers for membership dues and registration when we were putting it into Concur. But I need everybody else to go back to their student life coordinator, SGA advisor. Have they talked to you about TJC SGA that will be taking place on next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday? Okay. Again, we literally found out on the 24th. They sent an email out saying, oh yeah, by the way, TJ is happening. Here's how you can register. I had no idea. And we can't pay with a credit card, so we have to use the check. So I've been in contact with the COOs, I've been in contact with the deans, I have been in contact with procurement to get everything streamlined and for us to get us to pay for it. They finally got back with me literally like 30 minutes ago from TJ stating that our students can still attend and be full participants if they're waiting on the check, because they just sent this out on the 24th saying that we needed a check by April the 8th. It takes about 4 weeks to get a check cut in procurement in the process. And that's just the process because of where it has to go. And they told us if we can just show proof that we've requested the check from our college and got the approvals, then they will allow all of our students to come. So that won't be a problem. They won't hold us from not being able to vote. That was my whole thing. But we can vote, we can go. It has to be, I'll talk to the other student life coordinators, but I know that Southwest, Northwest, and Northeast, we put ours in through Concur. Mine has been approved by my dean. I think Northwest has already been approved by their dean. So it's already been approved for them. Miss Jana is probably her name. Miss Jana, have you put yours in through Concur?
No, because my students can't attend half the conference.
Okay.
Clinicals. And so I was going to have that discussion with them.
And usually that's always the case. They can't be away for that extended period of time. But I will talk to the other student life coordinators. I will send another email, but we do have TJ. We like to go to support because we have people who are on the board from our colleges and region. I'll get more information after I get off of this. I'll reach out to the student life coordinators again just to see where they are in that process. Questions?
I got a question. So is this TJ, you said something about Austin. Is it in Austin?
Okay, so no, TJ usually is like in Austin or Dallas or Houston. They
Mhm.
rotate between cities in Texas. No, it's not in Austin. It's virtual this year because of the travel bans and most people are not allowed to travel. What I'm talking about Austin is going to speak to our Houston delegation down in Austin since they are still in session. And the board of trustees are wanting that to happen as well as the chancellor. That's what I'm speaking of, but that is for the USC board. What TJCSGA is the, as Ms. Christine was telling and was mentioning, is the state student government association that we belong to as a college.
I got one more question. Didn't want to speak on it on the platform, but what about SFAC? What about the SFAC committees, student fees advisory committees? I haven't heard anything of that.
You actually just came on I think you came on after the SFAC met. The next SFAC meeting will be next week, April the 16th. It's on Friday. You didn't receive an email about that?
I don't think anybody on the Central campus even knows about it.
Well, no, SFAC, no. Yes, it does. Liz is on SFAC.
Oh, okay.
Liz is on SFAC.
Yeah, she is. She represents our campus, but what I was saying is I know that she does, but we haven't heard any. I guess we just haven't heard. I don't know what channels. What channel is that? Just a USC thing, or do we hear about that?
No, SFAC. Your SGAs picked the SFAC committee, so they picked the representative, and your representative that was picked was Elizabeth. So Elizabeth is like kind of supposed to come back and talk to your SGA about
Correct.
Like Jackie sits on SFAC. So this last meeting, she came back and talked about what SFAC was trying to do and some recommendations put forth, and then what they voted upon at the meeting. So it was supposed to be that. I don't think Elizabeth attended the last. I'm not sure she attended the last. She didn't attend the last SFAC meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, she's your representative who's you're supposed to come back and talk about what's happening. But the next on the 16th, hold on, I'm in my email. I just received an email because SFAC meeting was supposed to happen Good Friday, but we're not here. So it'll be
right. So what happens if we don't have a representative there? Is there a person that steps in on our campus, or it's just like?
No, there's not really a person that steps in.
Man, ain't that some stuff?
But majority of this, but what it is that the board is students, majority of the board. But because she just missed the last meeting, so usually if someone is missing or not going to be able to attend, yeah, of course they would send a substitute. But I don't know if she expressed that to the SGA board.
Okay, all right, yeah, we'll take care of that. But you said the last one was on what date?
Hold on, let me go back to my calendar.
And the next one is?
That's what I was trying to see. I was pulling up the one that's the next one. The next one is going to be taking place on the 16th.
Okay.
Hold on, let me just pull this up.
Yeah, it's the 16th at noon.
Yeah, it's noon, 12 p.m.
Okay.
Did you object subject? I'm in a whole different Outlook. Hold on, let me go back to the other Outlook. I was in one that wasn't really working for me.
Right.
Miss Ashley, if I can input, because I know that I also, yes, ma'am. I know Naeem, I also sit on the SFAC committee for my college campus. If you're looking for the last date for the last meeting that we held, it was actually on March 5th, if my notes are correct, if my calendar is correct. We held a meeting on March 5th, discussed a few different things. I don't know if you want to get with Liz about that information. And like Ms. Ashley said, our next one, it was supposed to be this Friday, but of course the holiday, so it'll be the 16th.
Okay,
I just forwarded it to you, Naeem, right now. I just forwarded it to you. The next one will be the next one will be the 16th. They talked, but I can tell you what they did discuss. They discussed a new model for funding of the funds, and that funding model included additional pots and additional ways for people to request funding. So one of the new what they wanted to do was with leadership development, being able to assist colleges with NSLS, National Society of Leadership and Success, that are district MO organizations, as well as like ASGA that our college belongs to purchase us those memberships for our students to be able to go to these conferences. When the world open back up. Another portion is for instructional programming for our COEs. We have 17 COEs, and so those COEs actually do instructional and event programming for our students who are in those special programs, and they want to have access for faculty to actually do instructional programming. And one reason is that way they wouldn't be coming to the college CAVs asking for the funding from the student organizations, that there will be a separate for COEs to actually put on program. And they do a lot of good programming. I know from my SPE, which is my engineering program, they do a lot of stuff with our COE. And so that way will be monies to ask to do programming for that college, that COE for the students, not necessarily travel, because we're not trying to take all your faculty to some conference and you take one student. It's actually for you to put on and bring those resources to the college for those students. So those were the two new additions that they wanted to add instead of everything going into CAB and an STS, that to actually break it down a little bit further to have access.
Word up. All right, wonderful. Yeah,
and then
I know.
Portion of it was also for like TJC, SGA, some of these conferences that we would like the leadership to attend, to focus on. Like one thing is our colleges, when we do get to travel like this TJ, usually it's in Austin or Dallas or somewhere where district would pay for the bus, that money would be coming from the college or the CAB budgets or the SGA budgets. Our college would take care of that, since our college is going and they're representing our full college. So also for things of that nature, for USC, for stipends for our United Student Council, that's also in there. So we can forward you that, how it looked, because I think Miss Dominique also has a PowerPoint that she presented, so I can forward that to you. But that is what they actually voted upon. We had not received the projections from finance on what was expected, and that is because we don't know what our enrollment is, so we have to wait. Usually we are about the last to receive a projected budget, because of course the funds that come into SFAC are from the student dollars, so they have to they try to wait to the last minute, because what they don't want to do is release and say this is what y'all are getting, and then come August when school opens up and we've had their 12th report day, we don't have that type of enrollment, because at that point they have to take some of that money back because we did not actually
correct.
So they try to wait a little bit to the end to see the projection. They said that we may get the projection, Dr. Bender said, by next week. So if we get that projection, we then will be able to see and drop it into those pots so we can see where it stands.
Boy, ain't that something? Let me get the projection to you right before the meeting.
But I can tell you, but we always are in that case, and it's not because they're trying to hold anything back.
No, I know.
We've had it before where they've released funds and been like, oh, y'all, guess what? We gave the students too much. We got to get some back, and so we don't want that to happen.
One last question, and I'm sorry for asking all these questions. Do you guys have a diversity and inclusion department that, yep, you already know. Do you have a diversity and inclusion department that's been created on your campus? Because I know on the central campus, they're working on it, but they've been working on it since last semester. So I don't really know what the update is on that.
You know, we actually have a new AVC for diversity and inclusion. You do know that. Do you know?
Yeah, that's Dr. Forgot his name.
No, it's a lady.
Oh no. Okay, so I must be talking about the one on our campus.
No, there is a lady. No, we do not. We used to, and I actually used to be the chair of our diversity and inclusion committee at my college. And then then who was over it kind of moved around and then moved away, and then I didn't hear anything else. But it used to be held in David Cross's office. I don't know if you know David Cross, but it used to be held in David Cross's office. Office of, I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you who it is, but it used to be held in his office. So yes, it is a lady who is our diversity, equity, and inclusion officer, and her name is she is Donna Davis, JD. Miss Davis. So she is now our director of institutional of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So who's that's our director? Just came up at the end of February.
Good. Because the only reason I'm saying that for the students who are on this line still is because I heard they got some money, and I heard they got some money in that department. They're going to be giving out some scholarships, Yeah, see, I got the inside. Now what?
Well,
I got the in. Yeah.
That I don't know. So I mean,
Well,
what do you
that's
mean?
what.
It's scholarship, but are those scholarships going through the foundation? Because most of the scholarships, because remember, scholarships have to go through foundation. So if they offer it, if they have the funds, it got to go through them.
It just depends. Well, that depends. And then I would also be in the SFAC report about how much money went to each department, went to that department.
No, that doesn't go to SFAC because that is not generated from the student fees. No, it doesn't go through SFAC.
What, student fees? Oh, you talking, no, students?
No. Listen to this. So the student fees, there are different fees that come out, but with SFAC, what comes out are what SFAC looks over are the student activity fees, and they look over that fee. They don't look over the other fees that are in there. So that scholarship money, that we don't actually look over that. So you will have to go to foundation because that is going to be separate. That's not through us.
So here's the thing when it comes to SFAC. SFAC is supposed to fund, the student fees are supposed to be the fees that fund every department.
No, they're not. Now listen, there's a difference between tuition and there's a difference between fees. No, they don't. They don't.
No, they don't.
Time out.
Every department and stuff, there's so many different ways that a university is funded.
That's correct.
It gets really intricate, but student service fees are very specific and it's non-academic, non-scholarship type of funding.
Have you looked at the Texas Education Code Chapter 54?
Man, I used to sit on the SFAC committee at the University of Houston.
Right.
And I know.
But I'm telling you, we don't, as SFAC, we don't look at the scholarship fund. Those fees that come in don't go into the scholarship portion of those student fees.
No, I understand about the foundation. All I'm saying is that a lot of what. So here's the thing. Let's just forget about the scholarship thing. Like we'll get to the bottom of that. But as far as student fees advisory committee, the student fees that go into every department should all be documented within SFAC. So we'll know how much.
That's not how it works.
No, because not all student fees, not all those fees go into SFAC. Not all of them, no.
For example, you were at University of Houston. When you paid an athletic fee, it did not go into the student service fee. It went to athletics and they oversaw that funding.
Yeah, correct. But
that wasn't SFAC.
And so we don't ever see it. When it's into a specific department, we don't see it.
So, okay. So you're saying that in SFAC, you're saying that all the student fees that go so many different ways, it doesn't tell. See, for instance, you said it goes to athletics. So the fact is that it goes to athletics. At least there's something that shows that.
But let me ask you, is it a student fee or is it a compulsory fee? Which fee is it? Because you have to see how it's labeled. Because now when you see student fees on your fee, like on your fee bill, it's going to say student activity fee. It's going to say that fee. Because depending on what type of fee it is, it will not come through SFAC. So like the technology fee.
Technology fee.
That fee
does not come through SFAC. Remember that. That don't come through SFAC.
Oh,
so all fees do not come through SFAC. Now, so you have like technology fee, then you got like, what is that, like building facilities fee and parking fee.
Student services
parking. That does not come through SFAC. That don't come through us. And even at all the universities, it doesn't come through.
Each department only sees the money that is given to them.
Yeah, of course.
And those are the dollars that are given. And that's why we said those dollars that were given, SFAC was able to vote upon how they wanted that model to look, to where those funds now can be dispersed to and what pots they wanted them to be dispersed. So
that's correct.
That comes through. We don't get, because I again, University of Houston, graduate, always with those student fees. When those student fees came through for student activity fees, it went to student activity fees, but then it was also, they came to SFAC to give their funding proposals for like the Council of Ethnic Organization, for what do people call it? Put on Frontier Fiesta. They come in with
Frontier Fiesta.
They come for that. So you know that there's a different pots that come to SFAC. But remember, when they come to SFAC, those are the activity fees. Remember, the SFAC. So remember, all the fees won't come to us because they don't actually apply to what we're doing. Same thing at U of H. When you sat on SFAC and you had council ethic organizations, and can't remember that other doggone one that happened, but when they came at the beginning, they requested those funds at the beginning for their organization.
Yeah, because they never showed us the full onslaught of where all the fees went to. Like you said, it was just a certain amount. It says, okay, this is how much money that came into your SFAC.
Right. And
Student. And then from there, you guys can figure out where you want to move it around to. Which we already knew where our fees were going to. The new student center, the TDECU stadium, but
if you wanted it to, unless you opted out, because in my last year I opted out.
Nah, we most of us, I said most of us pretty much opted in, even though
but see, it works the same.
It was bogus though. It was a bogus.
But it works the same exact way as here, like that technology fee. So I'm pretty sure that technology fee is looked over by Dr. Prestige. I was the Prestige. Farrell Prestige. So I'm pretty sure they're going into that technology fee. So like if we're looking at where you're wanting to see where those specific fees on that fee bill go, then we can go to see, through USC, maybe not SFAC, but USC, to what happens to those technology fees. How are they dispersed? What are they going to? We probably can go that route to see where they are. Now with this diversity and inclusion scholarship, that probably is going to be that money came from some foundation, because that's where
foundation.
And I'm gonna tell you, yes, it probably came from the foundation.
Yeah, because I had a donor or somebody who said, this is what I want the money to go for. This is where we're going to set it up. And let this department be the one to say, hey, we have scholarships available.
Or grant. Naeem, like if they received a grant for diversity or something, when they received that money and they wanted to go to scholarships, it's automatically handed over to the foundation to manage, since they are that whole piece of nonprofit.
Okay. Because that may be what's different from the university. Because when I was at the University of Houston, when we on SFAC allocated a certain amount of money to a department, then it's up for them. And then some of them will come to us and say, hey, this is how much money we want to give out in scholarships. And they give it to us in their proposal for SFAC for us to approve. And so it was already set aside for that. So it's not like it didn't come from the money that we was already giving them. They already, but you're just saying that it's different at HCC. All you're saying is that that comes, it doesn't come through the department funds. If it's scholarships and things like that, you're saying it comes through the foundation.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example, because we had a professor that would donate scholarships to Northeast every year. He had no kids, he loved his students, and he would donate thousands of dollars, and that money, he says he wanted to go to Northeast students. So what it was that they would create a scholarship at foundation. He give them money, it go to foundation, and then foundation then would say, hey, we have this money, apply for Northeast students in such and such program. So
right. So that's great. I would love to see that.
All righty then, Ms. Naeem, you got any other questions for me?
No, that's it. That is it. I think we're at the tail end of this chapter.
All right. Well,
graduating.
What was that?
You graduating?
Yeah, I'm graduating.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I mean, I ain't out of here. I'm trying to definitely still be a an arm of support for the students moving forward, because I that's what I see where we lack at. As a so-called student advocate advisor, I'm creating my own titles now. You see that? Write that down. Student advocate advisor. So as that, not an advisor, not you guys' role, but as a student advocate advisor, I think that that's a more destitute path for us that are on our way out, so that we can continue to help groom the students, from the perspective that we, as somebody who went through it. So that's what I'm. Now I don't know how my advisors at the Central Campus are gonna feel about that, but at this point, we're gonna have to work it out.
Well, we still will have a retreat, so we can do transitioning, as Miss Christine talked about, to transition over to, whoever is gonna be coming in. We still will have that transition piece. That's why we're trying to do elections within the month of April, so we can still have access to our past board to come in and do some transitioning with the new ones coming in.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good time. On the Central Campus, I'm doing the same thing that USC is doing right now. I'm putting together a manual, a SJ manual, with all the details, and because we didn't get that, but all the details, all the committees, everything that goes into it, and then give them a detailed layout of what each committee does, what our positions are, what you should look for, I'm just gonna lay out a whole freaking training manual. Uh, lay out a whole training manual for the students going forth. And so I'm pretty excited about it because that's something we didn't get. And that's something that they need to see when they come in. Read this. This is your Bible. And when they open that up and they're like, oh, okay, so that they know, man. Empowerment comes with information, comes with being informed. And starting all over brand new without being well informed is almost like hitting the reset button every time, and there's no need for that.
No, we get it. We definitely do. Talk to Dr. Hamilton about some things too, about retreats and trainings and stuff, to talk to her today about that, and then also talk to her yesterday about that. So it'll make sure it happens and stuff. So new year, new year. We were in COVID, so
See, I hear that a lot from you guys. That's y'all's MO. It was COVID. Oh, it was COVID.
no, because my SGA still was popping and running and going. So we not even go there. My NSL list was still popping and going, even though we was in COVID. So no.
Mine's done better during COVID.
But it was a new realm for a lot of my students, especially where my students are located. So
right. Yeah, I think we did well. We picked it up and ran with it, but whoo, boy. God bless America.
We will all that we build and get better with each year. So that's what we plan on doing, just building and making it better. So all right, let me go get my child.
All right, God bless you guys. I'll see you all later. Yep. All right, bye-bye.